This podcast is powered by The Plug.
The Connect, Graffiti. My guy, Hypnautic. What's up, bro?
My man.
Man, how you doing?
I'm blessed, bro. It's been an amazing journey.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be here with you, bro.
It's good, man. Every time we link up, it's good energy, man. It's been a while, but we've been connected for quite some time now.
And you know I've been a fan, bro.
Appreciate it.
Because I'll be up in your DM. No, bro, you gotta do this. You gotta do this.
I will say that about you, man. He'll hit me up like, hey, instead of doing that, think bigger and do it this way. And I'm like, you know what? I was thinking that, but I needed somebody to say that. You're good for that, man. I appreciate that. But for the world, for those who don't know, Hypnautic, who are you? What do you do?
Man, so I'm Hypnautic, full-time artist for the last 15, 16 years. Other than that, entrepreneur, father. Should have said father first. That's the most important, but you know, I keep that life a little low key. But other than that, man, I'm just a builder.
Yeah,
I like to create. You know what I mean?
For sure. You said full-time artist. Let's dial in on that, because that's hard to be able to claim that. A full-time artist. How does one become a full-time music artist, especially in hip hop?
Well, you reverse back 16 years ago, you have to be crazy and obsessed. Now this is a little bit easier if you pay attention. But what happened is I always like to tell this story because this is one of them stories that I probably said a lot, but you know, it never gets old.
Yeah.
So I met Tef about 17 years ago, King Tef. We're Top Flite Empire as a group. And we met each other through, he had a manager at the time. I was running one little circuit, just small time stuff, and he was running club stuff, small time stuff. And we was both trying to figure out how to make music a full-time job.
Right.
Didn't understand how to do it. There was no books or pathway. There was no independent artists at that time to really look at. So we connected. We kept trying to we tried to get onto this Rick Ross show at the Gothic Theater. We tried to get onto this Twister show at the Gothic Theater. We're like, we'll sell any tickets. We'll do anything we have to do to get on the show. And they was like, no, y'all ain't gonna fit, whatever. I don't even remember what they said. They said no. At the time, back 16 years ago in Colorado, it was really hard for independent rap artists to get big venues.
Facts.
Get into clubs. There was very little respect for independent rap artists. And so what we did was we found the promoter that was booking rock bands at the Gothic. And we were like, we got to do this venue. It just seemed like something historic if we could knock it out. And he's like, well, it's going to be really impossible to get you guys as a headliner unless you guys are a rock band. So we found a rock band, no one left standing. Rest in peace, because I think one or two of them passed away. But we used them as a cover. We're like, we're going to use them as the cover.
That's brilliant.
We put them as openers, totally different style.
Yeah.
And we booked out the venue 1 week after it was like a Rick Ross show. A week or two later, it was a Twister show. A week or two later, it was us. We outsold both of those shows.
As headliners.
As headliners.
Nice.
Rick Ross was a headliner. This was when Rick Ross was doing Gothic.
Yeah.
He's a little bigger now.
Yeah, for sure, a little bit.
Twister was big, probably bigger than Rick Ross at that moment. Maybe that was right after, I think, the Kanye West. And then we booked it out 2 weeks after that. And what we did was we booked it out ourselves. We bought all the tickets, gave away 90%, 50% of the tickets, 50 to 90% of the tickets, sold as many as we could. We outpacked that place, sold it out, outsold the Rick Ross and the Twister show, and then used that and shit on everyone that wouldn't mess with us since.
Yeah.
And we were like, that was the stamp of what solidified Top Flight Empire. That was the moment that solidified us as like, shortly after that, Tef's mom had a brain aneurysm. And he was like, so he had to take all his money he saved up because he graduated college, had a little bit of money saved up. I was kind of working because I just had a daughter, so I had a decent job for like about a year because I barely had jobs my whole life. But this one, my pops hooked me up.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, we got to quit our day job, or we got to go full time at this, or I got to get a day job. We can't do this no more because like too much is going on
at this point. Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I just got fired. Let's do it. Like, and we never looked back from that moment. We also had the excitement from us just selling out the Gothic, and we were like, we're gonna figure this out no matter what.
Yeah. Word, man. So talking about Top Flight, it's interesting because you guys are definitely a staple, especially locally in this hip hop scene for years now. But there's always been like this thing where, you know, you see all the locals or you see, you know, Colorado-based artists having these conversations, these debates, these lists, these arguments.
Yeah.
And it's always like, well, you look over here and Top Flight is like doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. You guys are on charts. You guys are selling out venues. I would say you guys, Black Pegasus, Black Hearts at the time and Food Chain at the time were just on such a different level above all the conversations that I'm sure it was getting up to you, but you guys were just moving at such a speed. It was like, did that even phase you at all? You know what I mean? Did you consider yourself a quote unquote local artist, or you guys were just, you're in the industry, you're in it, you're doing it?
I don't like the term local artist.
Same.
I like independent artists, right? Like at one moment before I dove into the industry and took that path, I was content with Colorado. I wanted Colorado to be king. For sure. It wasn't really like us versus Food Chain. It was like Colorado versus everybody. And I thought we had an industry that could crush everyone. Yeah. LA was you look at LA, you look at Atlanta, not even Atlanta as much of the time, but you look at LA, Atlanta, Nashville, New York, and you're like, we could do this. Why not?
Yeah.
Understanding that Colorado is like one of the number one consuming markets in the world, where we spend billions of dollars on entertainment.
Only makes sense.
And now looking at it's crazy because you'd be like, okay, well, if Ed Sheeran can have his biggest show here, Tech Nine,
man,
Taylor Swift, all these people, why can't, and none of that money gets invested in the independent. So we were always like, man, we're not local artists, we're Colorado artists. And there wasn't list back then.
Yeah.
There was only like a handful of artists actually doing it.
Yeah. And
we're all in different lanes. And we're all cool. Like, I was always cool with K-Tone or Mike Coates. You know, we all had respect for each other. Whether we had friendly competitions, you know, you had Mr. Midas, you had all these people where it's like, oh shit, they just did something real dope. We gotta top that.
Yeah, we gotta do better.
But it's never been a local artist. And I think right now artists are content. Like, there's not such thing as local artists. It's like the goal is to make this a day job and feed your family and build a legacy. That's it.
Yeah, and I mean, in this digital era, what is a local artist? I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
like I even caught myself when I said it because I don't like saying local. You know, if you're Colorado based, sure, but the local mindset of being a local artist or local anything, it's kind of out the window when you got the internet, which is something you guys also have been able to leverage. Social media, internet, the marketing side of the business.
Yeah,
talk about that a little bit, man.
So, I think of it like, this whole game is marketing, right? Like, absolutely. And once you understand and pull back the curtain, the whole thing is marketing, right? Like, I think it's understanding. I've always been a student, not just of hip hop. Like, I've always been a student of hip hop, but the music I grew up on is probably not like what people would say is the top. It's like, you know, I grew up on the Spice Ones or the Dayton Families and different style stuff
Dayton Family.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but I've been a student of the machine, the process. Like, I've always understood, like, why does this work the way it works? Like, what is the components to this machine that make this person go or this thing go or this product go? So I've always just been like trying to understand business. I come from a hustler's background, you know what I mean? Where it's like, you got to get it. Like, it's do or die. You have to get it. You have to learn it. You understand supply and demand on any scope. So the marketing has just been, I would almost say that me and Tef, and I would like anyone to challenge this because I could be wrong, we were the first ones to be like, we're going to put our pictures on the flyer. The same as national artists do.
Right.
We would market ourselves as if we were national artists.
Damn.
I wasn't looking at it like, neither was Tef. And Tef's like, we would spend 8 hours on the phone together just talking about like strategies and like, what's the next power move? It was always like, what's the next power move? You know, whether it's, okay, there's 80,000 people going to be at 420 when they release that. We got to get on stage. We got to headline this, or we got to do Summer Jam, or we got to go out to this state here. We just had to keep topping our last move. It wasn't like us versus the artists that were independent or local to Colorado. It was like, how do we compete with Rick Ross? How do we compete? Like, okay, if we're going to do this show with this national artist, how do we outshine this artist?
Yeah, you got to look national. Yeah, makes sense.
There was a homie I had back then. He was managing Jelly Roll. You know, Jelly Roll now is like the #1 country artist.
Yeah.
We knew Jelly Roll back then, and he was managing Jelly Roll and managing Haystack, and he was like sending these guys on tour. And this is when everyone is like small market touring. And he was like, bro, like, you go to every city around America. Most of them are smaller cities. Nothing's like Denver. Like, Denver's like a rich state compared to everywhere else. But you got these shows where these national artists are touring, and then they have like 5 to 10 openers.
Right.
And everyone's just going to do this in the national. They're only there for the national. They're not going to remember. You have to outshine every single person on that show every single time. So we kind of got that mentality of like, okay, how do we show up to a show where a national's headlining, or we're headlining, or we're doing it with local artists, and how do we outshine everybody?
Right.
So we put sets together. We would come up with creative concepts. We would just Tef would dance, wear suits. Like, we would do things different than everyone else.
Production value.
production value. And it was just like the marketing is organic when you are organic as a person. Like you help out the community. You're always just moving as your authentic self.
Yeah, being involved.
And you're doing the most.
Yeah.
A little marketing tip is like, someone said this to me, and it's like, if you want to be a national artist, like, how does someone be you for Halloween?
You know what's funny? That's dope. I'm gonna think about that one because I say something similar. It's stick with me because you'll get it. I'm like, how would someone draw you?
That's it.
So I had that conversation with one of my mentors, and he was like, "What do you mean?" So I'm like, if I had to make a cartoon of you, and I just had to think off top how I would draw you, what would come to mind? Like, what's that thing? And that's marketing in a nutshell. If I had to draw, Tef at the time, I'm gonna draw that suit. You know what I mean? If somebody was to draw me, they probably gonna draw a Life is Dope shirt or backwards cap.
Yeah.
That's on purpose and it's intentional. I don't think a lot of artists get that.
They don't.
And that's that thing when people say the it or the thing or the catch. That's that thing, man. Like, how would I be you for Halloween? How would I draw you? What's the piece?
I think a lot of artists try to mimic what's already going on. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I need these chains, or it's like, take yourself and put on steroids, right?
For sure.
It took me a while to embrace that I was a bald white guy. So I put on a bandana. And when I did that, everyone thought I made it. Like, and now it's not like me and Tef, we were trying to retire over this last year, but we got pushed back into it. But at the time, it was kind of like he had a certain hat, he had his glasses.
For sure.
And if you can draw you,
Yeah.
if that's it.
Yeah, you know what Top Flight looks like before.
You know what Top Flight
yeah.
looks like. Now, here's the key. I didn't know I was doing this until later on. The mayor of Glendale told me this. But so me and Tef, have you Blue Ocean Strategy? You ever read that book?
Yes.
It talks about blue waters and red waters, right? The bloody waters from all the sharks killing each other, and the blue waters like the open sea.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are competing in these bloody waters. They're doing everything that everyone else is doing. And the problem with that is like it's hard to like gain traction because you're just competing with each other. It's crabs in a barrel.
Yeah.
We would go the opposite direction. Like, we would go find car clubs. We would go find different types of people and make them our fans just by building with them. Instead of like competing, everyone's out here trying to compete with the same people. I'm the greatest, I'm the king, I'm the top of this list. Keep me out of your list. Who cares about that?
Yeah.
Go find fans.
Yeah.
Fans are customers. Customers will spend $100 to $500 a year on you, and if you get enough of them, you can make $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's the plan. We were doing this, and I didn't realize it until the mayor told me how he got Infinity Field filled up. He just gave me this story one time, and I was like, shit, that's what I'm doing. He's like, yeah, it's Blue Ocean Strategy. I was like, wow. I got the book, studied it, and I was like, that's what we've been doing this whole time, is like, while everyone else is competing for the same people, we're going to go find all the people that's left.
Yeah.
And this is a message for everyone in Colorado, right? Whether you have a brand, an artist, a podcast, whatever you are, Colorado is the #1 consuming market. People are spending millions and millions of dollars on whatever they support.
Especially right now.
Yeah. They've been doing it forever.
Yeah. But I think especially in music and kind of in the scene, quote unquote, people don't see beyond that.
Yeah.
Is you got to see behind your neighborhood. You got to see behind who you're right next to see that. Like, yo, I was just saying the other day, between sports and cannabis, Colorado is booming. You know what I mean? Like, everywhere you turn, before people used to be like, man, celebrities don't come here. We're not on the map.
Everyone comes here.
Dude, you walk anywhere and see anybody, but you have to be looking for that, and you got to be aiming towards that. If you just like, oh man, I'm the hardest in Montbello or these four corners over there, you're gonna miss it, man. Finding that target market.
You stay around your yes men, right? Like, everyone wants to be around the people that hype them. Me and Tef I'm never like, yo, Tef, good job today. You did a great job on that verse.
Yeah.
Nah, like, do better. You know what I mean? Like you want to be the best in the world, you got to do better. Like, look at how Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or even Drake train. Like they're strategic with it. They're methodical with it. They're first one to get there, last one to leave.
Right.
And so it's like people are content.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So let's go back to that, that 500 fan analogy. That's something you're heavy on. It's going to lead into the next conversation too. But talk about that a little bit, kind of just having that maybe a smaller core market that's dedicated and that's going to spend money versus that mass kind of hollow, shallow market.
So as an artist, like in an artist perspective, I'll bring it as an artist perspective, but this works as any type of product, right?
Yeah.
There's only a handful of revenue streams that are low-hanging fruit, right? As an artist, you have sponsors, you have publishing, you have shows, you have streaming, but that's shit money. You know what I mean? Yeah. Merch is probably merch and shows and sponsors are like the top, right? Now, what you have to do is, a lot of artists, there's the 1,000 fan rule. There's all these books on it. Like if you have 1,000 fans, you make $100,000 a year. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Done it. But this is where you really win is like, how do you get your first 50?
Yeah.
How do you get your first 30? How do you get your first 100? Now you got to look at it like this. Nobody owes you anything. So how do you win these people over? The number one way is like people could take out ads all day and do all this other stuff. And that helps. What works is just get on the streets. Treat yourself like a politician.
Yeah.
Meet people one-on-one. The thing where I won before the internet is I would be out on the streets. I'd be in front of K-Tone's parties and I'd print up all my CDs and I'd be talking to everybody one-on-one and they'd say that that wouldn't work for me. It works for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be selling CDs to old ladies. I'd be selling CDs. I'd be having one-on-one conversations with people.
Connecting with people.
And we list them out in our phone.
Right.
And what do you owe these people? You owe them content. You owe them an experience. If you give someone a dope experience, they're going to love you forever. That's the only reason we love music.
Man, you said a power word. What do you owe these people? Because a lot of people think it's the opposite.
Nah.
Nobody owes you as an artist. Like, this is a service that we provide. And I think people forget that. Like, nobody has to pay you or like what you do as an artist, but you owe that person,
Absolutely.
for their attention. That's big.
It's crazy because like when I started, it was like you have your friends and family, right? And they're the ones that give you the first jump. And if you take advantage of that moment, you can attract more people because energy attracts energy. People attract people.
Right.
By the time I met Tef, I had no more friends and family like that go to my shows. My friends gave up on me and my family. It was like, I don't want to bug them with it anymore, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, and same with him. So it was like you have to meet new people and bring them in to your circuit. And it's like we would go city to city and like if I pulled up my phone now and I'm like, we're going to Utah next week. We just locked in Utah for the Qoncert app and I have like 100 numbers of Utah people in my phone. Everywhere I go, I put a person's name in my phone and where they're from. So every time I tap into a new city or any place, I'm like, hey, yo, I'm coming to your city. I'm coming to your city.
Get with me. Yeah.
A new release is out. But it's not like just people like think they could just make music and get something. Or even if you have product, like you want to blow up on your product, send out 100 products for free. If your shit's dope, it's going to sell.
Yep.
If it's not dope, you're going to find out by sending out that 100 products and you ain't going to get no feedback.
That's hustle one-on-one, man. Just fronting that work. If they're going to come back if they want more.
They're going to come back.
But man, so okay, boom. All that. We take your journey. We take everything you're doing. We take your first shows, packing out these venues, that 500 fan, that 1,000 fan, 100,000 strategy. Put that together into one thing, man. And we're at this point now, got this Qoncert app.
Yeah.
Describe the Qoncert app and just explain everything it is.
It's crazy because right before COVID happened, we started playing with the concept of, like, we've always been headlining. We always believed in, like, independent artists, us as independent artists could headline and outsell these national artists. But we're like, if we can do it, other artists can do it. But before Qoncert app, I would say 5, maybe 10 independent artists from Colorado have actually headlined their own show.
Yeah, for sure.
You got Trev Rich, who's headlined and done some big stuff, A-Meezy.
Yep.
There's a couple more. There's not a lot, right?
Yeah.
And we were like, why can't others do this? So we took a couple of the powerhouses and we gave them headlining positions. We started with like Napalm, Miguel Crandall, a couple people, and we just tested this. Then all of a sudden COVID hit.
Yeah.
And Tef came up to me one night, we was outside Mile High Spirits, and he's like, man, I got this idea for this app. It's a completely different idea at the moment, but I was like, okay, well, I'm down. Let's put it together. Whatever you want to do, let's just do it. Like,
Yeah.
we always about it. COVID happens. Now, during COVID, the whole world shuts down, and it gave us a moment to like step out of Top Flight and really think like, how do we do this? So we built this app, and we started submitting it to Techstars, which is a program it's an accelerator program that helps accelerate businesses, right? 1 in 10,000 people get accepted to it from what I heard, but I don't know the true numbers. We got almost accepted into the one that was in California. And California was like all the major labels.
Yeah, for sure.
So we started talking through our process with these guys. We're talking to Sony, to Amazon, these are the Peloton was in there. Like all these different companies were in there, and we're talking to them and we're pitching our business. We understood we didn't know how to pitch our business.
Yeah.
And when we're saying to labels, major labels, yo, we're going to take independent artists and make them stars, they thought we were crazy.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
got all the way to the end and they canceled us out. And we're like, damn, we know we got it though. It don't matter what anyone says because all the labels turned us down.
Yeah.
Or weren't what we wanted when we were in artists. So what happened is another person from Techstars heard about us in Austin and they were like, yo, you guys are it. Like the record industry won't understand what you guys are doing, but we're the tech industry and we understand.
Yeah.
come out to Austin for 3 months. We're going to be a part of your journey, and we want to give you some new perspective. So we fly out there. Me and Tef go out there for 3 months. In the midst of this 3 months, like, Tef almost dies.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a crazy time. Like, just our whole journey of our whole life. Like, I got so many stories, but we could do a longer podcast later, right?
Documentary coming soon.
Documentary, man. Help us out, brother, because you the king of this. We're out there, you know, and I'm meeting mentors, like people that run, like, met the guy who did DocuSign. We're meeting the top people that do all these things you don't really care to know, you want to know.
Right.
And they're giving us game. You know, they're teaching you, this is how you scale. This is how you do this. And we're thinking about it. And so we kind of adjusted our business model a little bit, but we figured it out. And right at the start of Techstars, the world already opened. We're probably doing like 1 or 2 shows a month, putting locals as headliners. And then some things just clicked for us, and we're like, okay, we're just going to build a really strong community. Mm-hmm. We're going to take our process. We're going to give out tons of information, do tons of free workshops. We're going to do all this free game to teach people how to utilize what we built.
Right.
And now I think we're about to hit our 100th show this year.
That's dope.
The first year we put about 50 artists in headlining positions. Now we're almost close to like 150, 300 artists on the app, no marketing. And it's just dope community.
Just all organic.
And we're teaching people. We're like creating shows like Spotify playlists. Mm-hmm. We're curating, but we're using independents only.
Yeah. So if I'm an artist and just kind of walk me through it. I got the Qoncert app. I want to get on a show, or I want to headline a show. I want to do a show or something. Kind of walk me through the process of how you do that.
You're an artist and you've never been on a show before, but you heard about Qoncert app.
Yeah.
So you go to Qoncert app, Qoncert. You sign up for free. You build a profile just like you're on Instagram or Facebook. You sign up, create your profile, and now there's a list of shows you can just request. You just go on and request a show. We tell you the process. If you're an artist who can't sell any tickets, you're from another market, we still give you a shot.
Yeah.
And we teach you how to be better. There's minimums before you start making money, but it's all very, very transparent. Mm-hmm. And we start curating these shows. And our shows, like, we know who's who because we've been in the game so long, so we start building up more of these local artists, right?
Right.
You just get on a show. You do your first show, and depending where you fall on that show, we offer you more resources and tools on how to get better. You know what I mean? And we do free workshops all the time. We do everything we can. And it's really that simple.
Right. Man, so, I mean, it is really that simple. So if I'm an artist, man, and I'm struggling, and I'm like, I can't ever get on shows, there's really no reason to not have that app.
There's no reason not to. It's like a tool it's so mind-blowing of how simple it is.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like some artists, like, they resist it. It's like this. Like, the younger artists love it. The mid-tier, mid-level artists love it. The older artists is still kind of like... we've been damaged and abused so much trying to get into this industry that it's like you don't trust promoters. Like,
kind of tainted, yeah.
We put so many promoters in corners and had to deal with so many different things. Is like, I get it.
Yeah.
Same for everyone. You can come do one show with us and go do 100 things on your own. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Like, we're here to give game to the community. We believe in independent artists. I seen Tech Nine competing with Drake on billboards. We help some of those processes, understanding, like, if you just treat this like a business and get your 500 to 1,000 fans, and you're good.
That's good. Man, we can go on forever, man. It's definitely going to be a part 2, 3, 4. Like I said, documentary coming soon, whether y'all like it or not. We're going to make that happen, bro.
Let's go, bro.
But what's next for you, Hypnautic, as a man, as a business owner, as an artist? What's up?
Next, I mean, I'm just trying to grow mentally, physically, spiritually.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Like, getting older, try to retire music. And then I'll never quit making music, but, you know, Top Flite was like, we're trying to be the best competing. And it was like, okay, I'm just going to make music for fun. We got another wave this last year. Right now, I'm just like, how do I become the best father I can? Because there was a lot of years when I was touring and traveling that I wasn't around as much as I could have been.
That's real.
My son almost died during some of this. Like, certain things happen. So it's like, he's good now.
Yeah, good.
So just being a better person in general. But I think what's next for the Qoncert app is we're going to open up all these markets. We're going to open up tour routes. We already got Hash and JW Ruler on the first tour. We're building tour routes, the same ones we used to take, you know, where you can get 5 to 30 dates. You can go to these markets real easy. We want to disrupt this industry so bad that it's going to screw some things up. You know what I mean? Give independent artists a chance to, you could either live off music like you're working for McDonald's, or you could live off music like you're a doctor, and there's a pathway to both.
Yeah.
Just what you want to put into it. And then for me, it's just keep creating and keep empowering people.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the more I do for others, the better my life is in general.
Absolutely. It's golden rule, bro.
So that's it. Like just keep being a better person, learn from my mistakes. You know what I mean? I'm not as ruthless or not saying ruthless, but you know, you get to a point in your life, like when you're young and you're competitive and you're like, you just that person, you know what I mean? And then it's like,
it's growth and maturity, man. Like you understand the game better, you understand yourself better, and you're just navigating better. That's all it is.
the world's bigger than me. The world's bigger than Top Flight. Like, how do we give back and create a better future for others? You know what I mean?
Word.
Especially in the artist.
Especially in the artist. Man, we'll leave it at that. That's dope, man.
Cool.
My guy, Hypnautic Qoncert app, man. Y'all go download that. It's brilliant.
Well, I didn't even say thank you for having me on, bro.
Oh man, you're welcome. Come on.
Like the Connect is doing it. Like he's gonna be a major force, part of the machine that's going to help a lot of creatives. So like, pay attention.
Appreciate that. Huh?
I respect it, brother. Thank you.
My guy. Ugh. Cool.